Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Fashion Flair Friday. This is February 24th. And you can see I have a guest today, and I am so excited to welcome Judy Lucas, who is a master hairstylist and somebody that I've known for a long time. So let me just quickly introduce her so you can get an idea of the wealth of information she's going to bring to us today. So Judy Lucas has touched the lives of thousands of clients of all generations. Her passion and her specialty are expressed through her creative design. And as you look at Judy today, you can see there is definitely a creative design going on with Judy. And she's going to tell us about that gorgeous lavender hair color today. Anyway, Judy's years of experience is recognized nationally and internationally, and she's known for her unique hairstyling services. In addition to her hair services, she has developed and delivered a wide range of training programs to hairstylists across the globe. Now, over the past decade, because we are aging, and that's why we have the Empowered Style group for 50 and better, well, now she is assisting women who are experiencing the life changes that we all are experiencing, including, women 50 and over who are experiencing hair loss due to aging, chemo treatments, and she works with them as they are working with their hair pieces, their wigs. She also gives advice on hair products and hair care, as well as what she's done with me is helped me transition from permanent hair color to natural color and even embracing the gray that is here. So she works with them virtually, and that's why I wanted her to be here today, because she can work with each and every one of you that has an interest. And what she does is she helps women look and feel their best in this new chapter of life. So Judy, welcome. It's so great to have you here as always.
Hi, Marion. Thank you very much. I'm happy to be with your group today and you.
Well, we're happy to have you because we've had some questions about hair, and I've been promising that you were going to be joining us one of these days. So yay, we have done it.
We have. Thank you so much. Sorry it took a while. Yes, I've enjoyed my career. It's been a very enlightening many years over the decades. I've been fortunate to be able to have that creative process and work with design and work with clients while they go through different seasons of their life. From, many years ago, they started in their, right out of college and then into their first jobs and then marriage and then children or divorce. And then, over 50. So it's really wonderful to keep up with styles, create styles, and add new trends to their lives.
Well, trends are a big thing. And I always tell my clients, it's important to pay attention to the trends. It's not necessarily important that you adopt the trend, but what you are doing with your hair right now is a big trend. So tell us a little bit how you decided on this particular color or this particular trend.
Isn't it fun? I really enjoy it, and I'm getting unbelievable comments. But how I decided, finally, I was thinking about it for a while, and I wanted something different. I was in the process of letting my hair grow to my shoulders. It was about halfway there. And one day I finally just said, I'm totally white, but I've been highlighting, coloring, and toning my hair dimensionally. And I love lavender. And so I did it. I had it done about 3 weeks ago now, maybe 4. And my friend, who's my stylist, was pretty shocked when I said, she said, well, you just want a few pieces? I said, no, I want the whole thing right away.
Well, that's part of your style personality, right?
It is. It really is. I've learned a lot with it. You have to update your makeup, which I do quite often anyway, when you're bored with things, but you have to really watch certain colors and different shapes with your eyes and your cheeks and lips and everything, and then add, a pop of lavender without being too matchy. So I was just inspired. I'm going through, I would say, lots of many courageous things with new things in this new year. So it's been fun. Comments have been anywhere from, oh, did you color your hair? Is that purple? Or that's very daring. And or men said, that's kind of sexy. I said, really?
Well, I listen to the words that people use too, because, you know, as you know, Judy, because you've been in a couple of my classes, you know how important I think being able to identify your adjectives, your words that really describe who you are and how you want to show up in life. And so your hairstyle really has to go into that style personality, right? It has to be one congruent picture.
Yes.
So how do you go about doing that now? And we want to talk about you working virtually with me, with my clients, and with your clients all over the world. So how do you go about that virtual service?
It's really an exciting service. How I started with some of my clients moved out of the state or the country, and I continued working with them and with their color formulas. So we did it over Zoom. At one time we did it, Skype and faxes and all that kind of stuff, but thank God for Zoom. I find that it's even more intimate and personal over Zoom for my clients, realizing how close you and I work with clients. So what I do is through the clients for you or you yourself or clients that call me or contact me, is we set up an interview, a brief interview, and I tell them what the services consist of. And right now I'm doing haircut styling, I should say. I'm not doing the hair cutting on Zoom, but I'm doing the style haircut and color design with Zoom. So I meet with them on a brief call and talk to them about what their desires and what their results and what their need is at this stage of their life, be it personal changes or professional changes. And then I talk to them about which service would they need. To tell you the truth, most people like both services, the haircut service and the some type of tone change in their hair. And then we set up an appointment. They commit to the appointment, and then we set up a schedule for them. And I work with them through pictures, through their desires, through their lifestyle personality, as well as their personal personality and their face shape, and how they care for their hair. What are their techniques they use now? I don't want to make it harder for them because it doesn't have to be. But I teach them along the way, and it's been a lot of fun.
Well, you had several, what do I want to say, suggestions for me in terms of the shape of my face, and how the shape of my hair needed to work back with that. So feel free, if you want to use me as an example, to let people know, well, what changes you made. And they're subtle changes, but yet they make a difference.
Exactly. Thank you, Marion. Well, Marion had her hair on longer too, and Marion has very thick hair, which is lovely. And what I did was I had her show me it as she styles it, because I see it on Fashion Fair Friday. But I also had her show up with it wet one day. And what I do for my other clients, I either have them do that or they send me pictures. So that way I can see the texture of hair. And we looked at her face shape, and Marion has a heart shaped face, like a long oblong, but she's a little broader on her forehead through here. So we wanted to accent that. Yeah. So you notice how the curves have the lift. And then I worked with her face shape where her hair needed more lift around her cheeks and uplift on both sides, and a little bit more on her, well, on her right side. And yeah, that side. Thank you. Yes. And so we worked with some of that with accent. We worked with that with some of the layers as she's moving away from her face. I also showed her how to work with her natural wave, that she doesn't have to do so much work with blow drying and styling and flat irons. She can let the back dry natural wavy sometimes, and it can look great and complement the back of her hair and not always be a lot of work hanging down. I think one of your comments after we had your stylist cut it, with my suggestions was, you said, I feel like I lost 10 pounds.
Well, my hair is so thick. It really is. And so, just taking all that weight out really made me feel like I lost 10 pounds. And you're also very skilled at knowing what tools to use. And so one of the tools that I got was a big round brush that really allows me to smooth out my hair, and it really dries very quickly. So, this has just been such an easy style for me, and I can't say enough about it. So, and you've worked with some of my other clients as well, but everybody you work with is different.
Everyone is different, Marion. Yes, some of your clients had very fine hair, and we wanted to make it look thick. So I suggested different pointers for their face shape, their lifestyle, because not everyone is willing to get that round brush and put it to work. Some people say, I just want to get up and touch it and let it go. So I teach people whatever level they're at and whatever texture their hair is. And then also with their color. Marion, you work with your clients on colors also, and you suggest them to have the right coolness or the warmth for their hair and their face shape and their coloring. So we worked with updating clients with that focus. If it was adding texture to their hair, more low lights or more bright lights, warming it or cooling it down, and it really enhanced them. So one thing, working virtually, the client sends me pictures of them with their styled hair at that time. And then we talk about that. And then also, if they have a inspiration that they would like to go to, like if they have a wedding coming up or a party or just a job change or life change. So they send me some of their inspirations, or maybe they don't even know what their inspiration would be. So I hear what they're saying, what they need in their life. And then I send them inspirations about different stages, what I see their hair could do at the length it is, or shorter or longer, layered or more one length.
Well, I love that, because I know I sent you a few photos, but then you sent me back some examples of what you could see very specifically in different parts of the back and the layering. And what that really helped me do is to be able now to go to my stylist and say, the one that I work with here in Monterey, this is what I'm envisioning, and this is what my friend and colleague, Judy, who's a master hairstylist, has recommended based on my face shape. And I can tell you that she was very receptive to it. She, I know some women kind of worry, well, what will my hairstylist say if she knows I'm working with somebody else? And I found it really to be quite opposite of that she was very encouraging, and she really liked being able to see what the vision was, and then for her to be able to implement it for me. So it was a great help and great tools for me to have in my pocket.
Oh, great, Marion. I was going to ask you, what was your experience with that? So thank you. And that's what I found for most clients, probably almost 100%, that they share with their stylists, some points that I've given them. If they feel uncomfortable that their stylist might have a problem with it, an attitude with it or something, they can just say they were paging through, some Pinterest and hair journals and things like that. And, ask her what she thought of that. So it's really helpful. And then I will help them communicate with their stylist. And then after they're finished with their haircut and style or color, then they send me completed pictures, and it's a great voila, and it's fun. And then, we exchange them. Marion gets them as well. And then also offer a follow-up if they want a styling moment with me too, of how maybe they can't really handle their hair as well, or maybe they want to make it more look like in the picture, how they see it or feel it. And then I give them pointers. Tools or brushes.
Wonderful. Yes. And product, right?
Yes.
Especially those of us that have the graying hair too, how to keep the gray hair fresh
Yeah.
and not, because it, at least with my hair, it has a tendency to start to, if I don't use my purple shampoo,
Yeah.
it starts getting a little yellowy. So, so that was very helpful to know about too. One thing you said to me is that you describe your work as the 3Ds. Tell me
Yeah,
what that is.
I do, Marianne. I think I took it after like jail dynamic, but one day I was cutting someone's hair and I get very inspired. And I said, you know what I do? I design, I create dimensions, and then I do the details. Because every hairstyle, color, person, I'm sure you find that with your wardrobing too, is that's what we need. So in first the design, I look at the face shape, I hear about the person's lifestyle. My mind and my fingers are starting to create right away. Create the hairstyle, give them suggestions. They kind of become, they become very alive and excited right away there too. If they don't feel like anything's comfortable, we can always go shorter or longer. So then I start cutting, and it all is about dimension as well. Because like with your hair, it's very thick and it's curly texture. So I wanted some movement in it. So you change the lengths and the angles of your haircut and the shape and the color in your haircut. So that gives it the dimension. We don't look at it as one dimension. An example with my hair color, I didn't want it just all purple or all lavender. It's very dimensional where it's light, dark, and medium. I can wear my hair straight and just a classic bob. I can wear it straight and flipped or not. It'll still show the dimensions because the dimensions are there in the haircut. Dimensions in haircuts can be done by the shape, by layers or not layers, and then through color. And then the details are, when I look at it at the end and I say, you know what, Marion, I would like to suggest just lift that side in the back here so it shows a little bit more like that, a little bit more movement and uplift by your cheekbones and eyebrows. Or I'll say, you know, the dimensions through here are just perfect. They accent your jaw, they give you a little extra width there, they complement your scarf. And I work with that. So the details are going back and saying, does it have to be a little bit lighter? Does the color need to be applied in such and such dimension because it's going to give you lift? Is it going to make you, some people want to be thinner. I hear all the time with face shapes, especially with people with round face shapes. They say, I have fat cheeks. I don't really have fat cheeks, but we're all, round shapes are, the width and the length is the same, right?
Right.
So you either need to have a haircut that gives you some movement through your cheek area, or some color that gives you some design that lifts or narrows those cheeks. And then for the round, they need a little bit of lift on their face. It doesn't have to be standing up, but it could just be short bangs or a curtain bang. So that's how I work with the details. I think of the design I'm going to create for the client. I work with the dimensions within the haircut and texture of the hair and color. And then I go and I finish with the details. Sometimes the details take longer than other things, So, and I think that's the key, because, we've always said, the client's not finished till you walk out the door and you look at the back of the head as they're leaving and you love it.
Yes, yes.
Make that. Yeah.
Well, let's see. There are so many things I could ask you about, but one of the things I think is important for people to know how they can work with you and how you deliver your services. You've talked about Zoom, you've talked about pictures, but is there anything else that you would want to share?
Well, let's see. I have a wonderful questionnaire profile that I send you after you make the commitment and the payment. And it asks you those questions that we were talking about, your lifestyle, your personality, possibly some special occasions you have coming up. We do a facial balance right on Zoom. So I know exactly with line and design. We talk about what your color is at that time and how you want to change it. So I work with people in a discussion, and also
primarily you're gathering information by the form initially, but then is it on Zoom for discussion, or is it on Zoom for you actually providing the solutions?
It's both. Thank you. On Zoom, then we make the appointment for the Zoom and we go over the questionnaire, and then I present ideas verbally, and then I might have some pictures at that time because I'll have their pictures. So I'll bring up the pictures at that time and we'll talk about how that works or looks for them. Okay. Yes. And then we have that communication. And they can sit with the, pictures a day or two. Sometimes I have the appointments, 2 days apart, a day apart, a week apart, depends on people's schedule. So the one session would be color. I break it into 2 half-hour sessions. That works out good with timing. So we go over the questionnaire, we do the face measuring and the balancing, proportioning. We talk about the hairstyle that I would suggest for them. They either yes or no. I give them choices and suggestions. And then the next session would be, they come on and then we come to a decision about that hairstyle that they want. And then I talk to them how to communicate that with their hairstylist. And then they would book the appointment with the hairstylist, or actually I encourage them to book the appointment with the hairstylist as soon as we start, the commitment, because that way they know they can get in rather than waiting. And then they communicate with their hairstylist and
then they come back and show you the results, right?
show me the results and send me pictures, and it's great. And with color, the same. I work with them with color charts. I talk to them about levels of color. They want to change it, add to it, lighten it, darken it, different tones and dimensions, and the same process. Keywords, key techniques that I recommend that they can explain easier to the hairstylist. Some people know about smudging the root and some people don't. Little techniques like that, but I try to make it in user-friendly terms, as they say. Yeah. Okay.
Right. And so those are two separate services. So
Yeah.
there's the hair design service and then the hair color service, right?
Yes, exactly, Marion. Exactly.
And
Right.
each one of them is an hour, you said, and you break it up into
2
small
half.
increments.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm sure people are thinking, oh boy, Judy Lucas, it's going to be expensive to work with her, but tell them what you're going to offer them.
I will. I am doing a special virtual session service for you, Marion's clients, for the Empowered Women Presence Group. And I'm offering this service for $125. So that would include the hair design service, the 2 half-hour sessions, and the pre-interview service, which is just, 5 to 15 minutes. Excuse me, I have a little tick on my throat. And then the color service would be another $25. So I'm offering that for the entire month of March.
Another $125.
125. Right? Yes. What did I? Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. 125 for the hair design service, and then another $125 for the color service. And I'm offering that through the month of March. So if you call in, or I'll give you my email and phone number, and book a schedule appointment or call to ask some questions. That will be good for the month of March. Now, I'm also going to say that I'm going to give you another 2 months, if you don't have time that month of March, to have the service, book the appointment, have the scheduled appointments, the Zoom appointments, but you need to commit within that month of March for your service.
I think that's very fair. And having then 2 months after you actually book or commit to the appointment, and I presume what you mean by commit to the appointment is to pay for the service up front.
Yes.
Is that right? Okay.
Yes, pay for the service up front.
Yes.
Exactly. I have that special offer. Did I miss anything that I'd like to share with your clients?
I think the only thing I would say is, how can they contact you?
Yes, that would be good. Well, my phone number is 312-805-5839. So 312-805-5839. And actually that 5839 is Judy.
Oh, very good.
And then the email that I'm working with will be JL Dynamic, DYNAMIC @iCloud.com.
So that's
So,
all one word,
yeah,
JL Dynamic, all one word,
yes.
at iCloud.com. Okay. And just remember that Judy is in Chicago. So her time is what, 2 hours later than we are. So
That's
take that into account if you're going to call her. We don't want you calling her at, 5 a.m.
I might not answer.
Yeah, exactly.
Leave a message.
So, and are there particular days that you work? Because I know you're in your salon a lot. So
Yeah.
are there days
Yes.
that you do your virtual consulting?
Mostly Marion, I do them on Mondays and Tuesdays. I'm in
Okay.
the salon with clients in the city Wednesday through Saturday.
Okay.
And my days are usually 10:30 to 6. So it's hard to start later than that. But
Right.
most people find Mondays and Tuesdays. So many people are working from home or they can schedule it. And if some people need a Sunday afternoon, I work with that too. That's not a problem. But I look forward to this, Marion. It's been fun sharing this information about color and your hairstyle. I'm glad you love it. I love seeing you on Fashion Flair Friday.
It's hard to say. I've gotten used to it. Fashion Flair Friday. So, well, thank you so much for joining us today and to letting us know that you exist and this service that you offer exists, because I think sometimes we just need a little different view and maybe a different way of looking at ourselves, whether it be hair or whether it be hair color, whether it be hairstyle, or whether it be your clothing style. So having fresh eyes giving you input, as Judy does, is something I was really excited to be able to offer all of you that are watching today. So Judy, any closing words before we sign off here?
Well, thank you, Marion. This has been a great opportunity and fun working with you and your group. I would say the key thing is that we just keep growing. We have life transformations all the time, and we become aware of ourselves inside and out, from head to toe, and keep looking great and feeling wonderful.
Oh, well, I did think of one other thing, you see.
Sure,
And that is, sometimes I see women with the same hairstyle that they've had for the last 20 years. What is your opinion on that?
Well,
Honestly, what is
yes.
your opinion on that?
My opinion on that is maybe it's easy for them to handle. Or
Mhm.
maybe that's the way they only can see themselves, obviously, and they're not ready for the change. But who knows? Our conversation with them could have given them the uplift. Not everyone is daring to do the purple. Not everyone is daring to
Right.
change like you have. So I would say be open, even if it's just a slight color change. It doesn't have to be dramatic. Be open to a texture in your hair, a length change. With you, you run into that too. I'm sure people have the same clothes in their closets for a long time. As a stylist, I like to be gentle with them.
Sure.
I don't want to tell them to look
Absolutely.
terrible, because they don't see themselves that way, or what's stopping you from the change? What would, how could I encourage you to a change?
Mhm.
Showing them little changes,
I think
and
change is very powerful.
it is.
It really has us kind of embrace something new. And that newness oftentimes adds vibrancy rather than doing the same thing over and over and over again. Let's be a little bold. Let's be willing to make some changes. And Judy is here to help you affect those changes and help get the ball rolling. And I will say she is very gentle in how she recommends things and what she recommends. So, ladies, I hope you enjoyed this. I certainly have. I always enjoy talking to Judy. She inspires me, and I hope that she inspires you too. So that's it for today. And Judy, again, thank you for
Thank
your
you.
time.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye-bye now.
Bye.